Yes.
I tried to enjoy the PME or whatever you want to call it yesterday. I thought it was pretty good. Even watched AAA. That was really good. Some would say it was better than the PLE. Some may not. Either way, it was a good weekend of wrestling shows. I tried it, and then comes the Monday morning bullshit. First of all, from a wrestling podcast, I am Mr. KS. That is, I think he's still jaded, Chris. I don't know.
No, I'm just Chris. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's just
Glad to
Chris.
be here.
But anyway, you know, I self punish myself on Monday mornings, especially after PLEs and these
What you?
podcasts. I've never seen so many grown ass men cry like babies in my life.
Yeah, I haven't heard quite the amount of show that you have today, but you got me on that Wrestling Nation thing now on Sirius Satellite, listening to stuff on there. And I heard some pretty cool stuff on there today that I thought that I'll bring up in a few minutes. I thought was kind of cool, and I could agree with. But I
They
didn't
don't
hear the other people you're talking about because I didn't really have all morning to listen. So
they don't cry as much as they used to. I'll give them that. But these and I'm gonna start naming these shows because fuck them. You know, we're a small time operation over here, and that's fine. These are so-called bigger shows. I don't know if people ever heard of them. It's a show called Wrestling Soup. It's a show called Don Tony Show. It's a show called I forget the other name of it. Um, damn, that's how significant they are. I can't remember the damn name of it. But these people constantly, week after week, it's almost to the point if they get some type of sick pleasure of sitting around complaining about wrestling. And it's fine. Look, is wrestling perfect? No. Is there stuff that people don't like? Stuff that I don't like? Yeah. But to constantly, all day long, every show you do, and some of these people do 3 and 4 shows a fucking week, bro. And every show is the same shit. I listen to wrestling podcasts because I like hearing other people's perspectives. But God, it's almost like listening to a feat like The View. Like it's
oh
like
my
watching
gosh,
it's like
oh,
watching the fucking View, bro.
the view of wrestling. That is
All
something right there.
you can get at least 4 of those people on those podcasts and set them up there, and you would think like, damn, are they? You would literally be concerned for their mental health because who does this? And these are not young grown men. These are grown men in their 40s, probably in their 50s.
Hmm.
What's wrong with them, Chris?
I mean, they're going to complain regardless. You know that. And you told me some of the complaint they had before just before we started, like complaining that Sol Ruka won the Intercontinental Belt. I mean,
Was it a perfect match? No.
no,
But to
she
sit
hasn't
there
had a
and be like,
perfect
oh,
match since being on the main roster.
she's only been wrestling for 4 years. She just signed a WWE main roster contract, which is not really a thing. Once you sign to WWE, you sign to WWE. They may give you a raise, they may change the contract, but you're not signing
So,
your
so they're
first
mad
contract.
because she's only wrestled for a total of 4 years, and they
And
put the Intercontinental belt on her.
she just got there, and then how is she qualified to win? Like, do you remember a guy named Goldberg?
I mean, how long does it take some of the other people in the past to hit the main roster and win a title?
Why does it matter?
I mean, it doesn't. I
It,
mean, at
it,
this point, I
it,
mean,
it,
if that's who you want to push against Becky, Becky does a good job at elevating talent. You know, I mean, and carrying a good show with people. Bringing AJ Lee back and putting her against her and having her lose the belt to her and getting it back
oh no,
was cool
that was okay. Even though
because it
AJ
was
Lee,
AJ Lee and CM
she ain't
Punk.
wrestled in 10 fucking years, and she's 10 fucking years older. But that's okay. You can bring her back and put a title on her.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be around. Where would she go when
How
she leaves?
long? How long did it take Cody Rhodes to get the belt when he got there?
The first time or the second time?
Well, I mean, when he came back to the American Nightmare,
I want to say 2 years.
so he was there for
He
2 years before he had the belt put on him officially.
yeah he did 2 main events right back to back 40 what 39 and 40.
Okay.
or 40.
I couldn't remember. That's why I was asking. I was like, how long did it take him to get the belt put on him? Because he had come from, been gone and come back from somewhere else. I'm
But still,
surprised the same people that complain about her getting that didn't complain about Cody getting it if they're coming from a different organization or something.
oh, they complain about Cody now too. They want him to lose. That's the other complaint. That Cody should have lost. Yeah, that's. Hey, if you're not a fan of Cody and you think he should have lost, fine. But the reasoning for why he shouldn't have lost, they're saying Cody's not over. They derailed it. Gunther means nothing.
Mm,
Are we
can't.
watching this? Are we
I
watching the
can't
same
agree with
show?
that.
Are we watching the same show, Chris? Tell me I'm missing something. I'm missing something.
I The only reason why I can think to keep the belt on Cody is because I've been hearing on. I don't remember if it was SmackDown or one of the Raws. Didn't Roman say something to Jay about taking the belt from Cody?
He might have said that, but I don't think nothing ever came of that unless they gonna circle back months down the road. But I think Gunther's going to get that world title. He may not get it from Cody, but he's going to get it. And I don't see
I
Gunther disappearing
I
from
don't.
the title picture because he lost this match. Look at how he lost the match. His foot was underneath the rope.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to be over after that? He's going to
Oh
get
no,
it.
there's gonna be some question.
Yeah. It's called a story. People, we have to have. I don't. I think sometimes again. I've been saying this for years. I think people sometimes forget they're watching a television show.
Yeah, there'll
There has
definitely
to
be some question about
there
it for
has to be a
sure.
reason for you to come back and watch to see what's going on next. So this is your favorite. One of the, it wasn't so much how the match was. The match was good, and if you didn't like the Brock and Oba match, I don't know. That was I don't know what to tell you.
I mean,
But
it went a little bit longer than the first match they had. Now,
yeah,
my only problem with it, as I told you, was I didn't like the fact there were so many F5s in it.
and
I get it. It's Obafemi. He's tough. He's hard to beat. Keep him look strong. Okay, but I mean, do it.
and after what he did tonight on Raw,
But does it have to? I mean, I don't. You know what he did on Raw. I didn't see him on Raw
they
tonight.
had
So
that fatal four way for the King of the Ring tournament, and
who was in his fatal four way?
oh shit, it was Penta, Penta. What's his name? Not the guy that Carmelo Hayes. Damn, Penta, Carmelo Hayes, over Finley, and I can't remember the fourth one. Oh, Solo Sikoa. And they, did the whole thing where they got over was like over the barricade in the crowd or whatever, and he just stood straight up like he did yesterday. After he got put through that table, stood straight up, came and just mollywopped everybody and won the match. Boom. I mean, is this not old school making a big man
With
look strong? Is
with the
this not?
whole Brock thing, I would have thought that at the most, okay, say 3 or 4 F5s, but with the last one being the one that actually pins him, which it did, the last one he used on him pinned him. But I'm saying do a couple F5s on him back to back, okay, and then do some other stuff or beat down. I mean, he didn't even he was well known for Suplex City. Did he even do one suplex on Obafemi?
I think he did a couple.
I mean, I didn't see the whole match or anything. Take him. I know it went outside the ring for a little bit. Take it outside the ring and do some things. Throw him to the barricades. Throw him in the steps. Use the
Put him through
steps
the
on him.
table.
He put him through the table, but that would have been the third F5 through the table. And then you bring him in the ring and you beat him with a fourth
Now
one
I
at
think
that point.
no. Well, see, here's how I looked at it. This is what I told you yesterday when you told me what you just said. It took him 3 or 4 F5s to beat Roman, 3 or 4 F5s to beat Rock, 3 or 4 F5s to beat Cena. It took him 3 or 4 F5s to beat Cody Rhodes. To go back and look at it.
Do you remember when everybody was tired of Suplex City because it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6. Everybody was tired. Suplex after suplex after suplex after suplex after
Well, I
suplex.
don't remember. I don't. You might have been tired of it. I myself, that was
One of the worst matches I ever seen, I think, was him and John Cena, where he just suplexed John Cena nonstop the whole match, and then finally F5 were win.
but like I said, if you look at it like this, what it's Brock Lesnar, bro. Like there's nobody like him, not even Goldberg. For him to just pick you up and just throw you like that, as many times as he felt like it. Number one, it makes him look strong, and number two, if you kick out of three of them, you're a bad mofo. But it took it. All those people I named, three or four, five F5s. It makes Over look even stronger. It took seven to beat him. Like you know, coming in, I could F5 this mofo five times, and I still got to kick his ass. You know that coming in now.
I just still think there's other ways to make him look strong and still
Well,
do
well,
damage to
well.
him.
Oh, great mighty Booker of wrestling! How do we do this?
I just said a while
We
ago, you take the
we
fight outside the ring like they did, you beat him up with the steps like he's done other people. I mean, you can throw him into the steel post. You can,
but we've
whatever
seen him
happened
do
to
that
an
too.
actual body slam in the world of wrestling?
He's F5 people on the steps.
Ha-
He's
has
Kimura
he
people
ever
on the
body
steps.
slammed somebody in wrestling?
Who?
Brock Lesnar. Has he ever
Yes,
body slammed somebody? In the
yes.
last 5 years, 10 years, has he actually body slammed somebody or
See,
just did a
when,
just the
when,
German
when,
suplex?
when you've been in,
I mean,
see,
he
Spence,
could
I
do a
see
running power slam with
you
somebody
spent your
sometimes.
formative years looking at studio wrestling. I get it.
I'm just talking about him
Yeah,
doing
no,
other things for damage than just a repetitive F5.
hey, what the fuck is a body slam supposed to
I mean, it's damage, just like doing the F5 is damage. When you look at the F5 these days, does it even look devastating anymore to you?
do? Okay, would you let him do it to you?
Sure, why not?
Shit.
I'd rather take an F5 than I would one of those big old power bombs from Obafemi.
I'd rather take a flat back body slam than an F5 where I can just land any kind of way. Fuck that. Are you crazy?
I'm just saying, there are other ways of doing damage. You know, like I do, there's other ways of putting a hurt on somebody.
What the hell, Chris?
You've seen wrestling
Why,
too long yourself to
why,
know.
why don't we just ring the bell? He walk over and kick him straight in the balls,
He could.
and the fight be over.
No, he has to roll over and hook his leg and his neck
Hey,
afterwards.
you could kick him in the balls. You pretty much do whatever the fuck you want after that. So
So you mean to tell me you're gonna sit there and tell me that it has to be F5s and it can't be anything else?
that's not what I said. I said I don't have a
But you're
problem.
knocking the fact and the notion that I say he could be doing other
No,
suplexes, other body
I'm
slams.
knocking it because you said seven. I'm strictly on the point when you said seven was too many. That's
7 was too many. It's overkill.
folks. If you do more than three drop kicks in a match, it's too many. Not a regular drop kick, not a standing drop
That's
kick.
like saying, the young bucks
Not
don't super kick enough.
that's they super kick way too goddamn much.
Okay, so 7 F5s versus 7 super kicks. Let's not even say young bucks. Let's say Jay Uso and Jimmy Uso. The Usos. 7 super kicks, 7 F5s. Is it okay to do 7 super kicks?
I mean, if I do seven jumping jacks, would anybody have a
See now you're tap dancing now.
problem?
So let's jump to another subject here. Let's pick on somebody else for a minute. El Grande Americano.
I just want you to, I just want you to admit one thing:
What?
that the fact that you have grown up on studio wrestling in these country, backwood, dirty gym coliseum wrestling shows you used to watch as a kid. If it ain't that, it ain't right. Just admit to that. Just say that. If it ain't that, it ain't right.
I can't say that. I mean, just because I grew up watching actual fights in wrestling, I didn't grow up watching Doink the Clown or Bastion Booger or, I mean, Skinner. Took a great wrestler like Steve Curran and made him a character like Skinner. Took a
To
great wrestler like Terry Taylor and made him a red
to
rooster.
be clear,
Cock-a-doodle doo.
to be clear,
Cock-a-doodle doo.
when all of that happened, I was 12 and 13 years old. I was no longer a little impressionable kid.
Yes.
Not 5, 6, and 7. I was 12, 13.
And how
Which
old
was
was I when I watched him?
probably about 32.
No, it's not 32.
So,
Hey, listen. You know where I went yesterday?
yes, I
Went to the
know.
Galaxy Con, right?
Go ahead, flag. Throw them up. I know you're ready. You
No,
got them queued
no,
up already. Go ahead.
no. I went to the
I,
Galaxy Con yesterday, and there was no women wrestlers there, so I can't rub it into you. But I did get to talk to Jimmy Hart and Jerry Lawler though. I got the first to meet them for the first time. It was pretty cool for me. Jerry Lawler was my favorite growing up in Memphis, right?
which
And
which which is making
one
my
thing
whole
we all
statement
come to the
even more true.
conclusion on, one thing we all come to the same conclusion on, wrestling sure just ain't the same as it used to be.
Well, the fact that they're 80 years old.
And came up during a time when wrestling was actually fights in wrestling. More more looking like a fight than it was looking like sometimes a ballet.
I tell you what. Do you think anybody from Memphis has a chance against Brock Lesnar or Oba Femi?
Do you think that
No, I answered
no,
that.
no, no, hold on, hold
That
on.
is
I'm
not
gonna
that
give you a
that
comparison. I'm
who's
gonna give you a good
who's tap
comparison right
dancing
now.
that? Who's
I'm
tap
gonna give you a
dancing that?
good comparison. All right. Do you believe any basketball player from the 70s could match up with LeBron James today? It's two different eras, two different styles, two different types of wrestling at that point. They
So
wrestled, they fought.
why?
They didn't just
So
get out there and get to be 6 foot six, 865 pounds, and sling people off their shoulders in a circle and say, "I'm the toughest." It didn't work that way. It was just fists. It was fist fights and
so
slams and
if you
clotheslines. And for crying out loud, they hip tossed and arm dragged and headlocked and put on hammer locks for submission holds and ankle locks and things like that, where it drug the matches out longer.
you know you're proving my point, right?
I'm not proving your point.
Because you just sat here and said you can't. It's two different eras. You can't compare them. So
Right,
why?
you can't.
So if you
So
can't,
asking me, can anybody from Memphis beat Brock Lesnar?
no. If you can't compare them, why are you expecting wrestling to be the same?
Wrestling can't be the same, but
Thank
it's
you
not
very
as
much.
good. When you
Thank
say
you
it
very.
just ain't the same, essentially you're
But
saying it's not as good to you.
you can't say it's not as good if you can't compare them.
If you're saying it's not the
If
same
you're
to
saying
you, then it's essentially not as good to you as it was when you were
so
watching it
if
before.
if it's that is the very definition of comparing. You just told me I couldn't compare them,
Okay, here, everybody, turn your volume up. Everybody, listen. Turn your volume up. Are you ready? Old school wrestling from territory days was definitely better than what you have today. I said it at 8:39 p.m. on June the 1st,
Thanks for your comparison.
2026.
Thanks for your comparison. Even though you told me I couldn't compare them. Thanks for comparison. You just sat here and said I
I
couldn't
mean, I'm
compare
not going to argue with you about it because it's pointless.
just if you could
You're,
just
you're always you're always
you
going to
can
fall back on what we got right now.
you can argue you can just sit here and simply say
You still can't make me believe
Mr.
that seven
Mr.
F5s are
Mr.
necessary, though.
Mr. KS, you were right.
No.
That's all it takes. It's very, very simple. At this point, a lot of people should be used to saying that back right
You think so?
now. Prove me wrong.
I tell you what, just to make your day today, because you're having such a crappy day, Mr. KS, you're so right. I wish I was you. I wish I was as good as you today, sir.
The sarcasm is on 1,000 with me.
I speak it fluently.
Right. I'm saying that. Um, Mass versus Mass.
Yeah, about time actually. I mean,
All
I
right.
it was funny the time they were doing it. It was.
So with all that happened with the arrest of and with Kaz and all that stuff, the fact that his girlfriend was there was just hilarious. You know that's who that was, right?
The one he was with.
Yeah, that she had on like all white or whatever.
I heard it was his girlfriend he was with. I didn't know for sure
Yeah,
though.
yeah, that's her. And of course we had Chad Gable's family. That man, that whole storyline was, and the fact that they put a little bit of reality in it when they, by bringing the families in. That I mean, even though we knew it was Chad Gable, for it to still come off like that, hell of a match. I can honestly say, just not the story, but the ending, how they did the ending. I learned a lot about Lucha that I really didn't know just by them giving that speech at the end. So, because apparently that's how it's traditionally done and all that stuff. So,
So are we getting Chad Gable back now finally?
I think he'll stay in AAA. But
Think so?
why not?
Well, it's fine. I mean, if he does, it's cool.
I
But I
mean,
mean,
them, him, and what the Creed brothers, War Raiders, they just won a tag team title down there. So, might as well get them stay employed. Stay employed. You gotta work in Mexico. Money is money. Don't care where you get it. Because I mean, the alternative is if they weren't in AAA, they'd be fired.
oh, they'd be fired from WWE.
Right. I mean, so
They'd be working somewhere regardless. I mean, but
did you watch that whole show?
AAA.
Yeah.
No, I just saw the end of the match highlight of the El Grande Americanos
Oh,
match.
you gotta go back.
I've not watched one AAA event yet.
Here's the thing. I don't watch every week. I probably watch out of 1 month. I probably watch 2 weeks. But even watching that show Saturday, you kind of figure out what's going on because they do have English commentary. So and it's JBL, Corey Graves, and Rey Mysterio. They kind of let you know what's like. You can fall into whatever's going on in the storyline, and it's fast paced. There's not a lot of in between stuff going on. They do have certain backstage segments, but it's not a lot of maybe like two or three of them in a whole show.
I mean,
Everything moves.
the only thing I can tell you, like I tell Ralph all the time, I would love to sit here and watch if I could get into it. I would love to sit here and watch Raw and SmackDown again every week. I'd love to watch NWA. I'd love to watch AEW. I'd love to watch the Lucha thing. Whatever the case may be, but I just don't have the time and the or the wanting to really want to sit down and watch them
See,
anymore. Really,
I think you have time. You just don't want to do it with the time you had.
you don't. I mean, you really don't realize what all I do over here when I'm not on here with you on this. I do a
I
lot of different things,
I know you.
podcast related and
I
just outside of podcast, which is still kind of tied to it related.
I got the
I mean,
T-shirt
I
saying,
just
"Hey,
started that T-shirt shop thing I'm worked on,
you
working on designs for T-shirts.
you following Trish Stratus and Mickey James around the country. It's I know you're a busy man.
You know, I mean, and then there's other stuff I want to watch. I mean, I don't want to watch just wrestling all the time.
Chris, at some point you have to let the Care Bears go.
No, I haven't
You
watched the
can,
Care
you
Bears.
cannot sit here and still be watching the Care Bears from the '80s.
I do not watch
Well,
the Care Bears.
it's all right. It's okay. Just don't go
Well,
out
I'm
with
glad I have your permission if I wanted to watch them,
don't
but I don't watch the Care
just don't
Bears.
just don't go out with a Care Bear in public. Just, people will look at you kind of funny. I'm just saying.
They probably would.
Oh my goodness. I had
If
fun
you were a
watching
Care
wrestling.
Bear, do you know what you'd be? Like asshole Care Bear, but that's what you'd be. Um,
Hey, I've embraced my stalking life. It's okay. It's okay. Um, I had a good time watching wrestling this weekend. Um, if for nothing else, wrestling is a distraction for me at this point. So that
and you know,
that I may be looking at wrestling through rose-colored glasses. Uh, Whatever the case is, I'm whatever. I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I don't even have the VPN anymore to watch any of the WWE PLEs. I was watching them through Netflix. That's how I was watching them. So I don't have the that any longer to use to watch them or anything. So
When if I come across it again, I'll send the link to it. There's this thing on Instagram where it's it's almost like a reaction with the person like sitting there watching it, but it's a little better than that, and it's not a lot going on with it. And people can follow along with what's going on with PLE. But
mhm.
if I come across it again, I'll send the link to it. That's a good way. I mean, you can watch like a match and then like it'll come another video come up and it's just a match. It's not like a lot of stuff going on in between and all that stuff. So like you just the match once the match is over, that's the end of the video. What the hell happened? Oh, and you say old school. I'm right now watching WWF old school home video. It's Hercules and Mr. Wonderful. So yeah, old school is pretty good. There's no doinks. There's no boosters. There's two ugly ass men smacking
Yeah,
each other.
the old WWF when we were young. I
You talking
watched
about
it.
real?
That you're talking Hulk Hogan, Real American Days, Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. You're talking Ricky Steamboat and Jake the Snake Roberts. You're talking early years of WrestleMania. I can get into all that. I can.
When I like when '90 hit, I wasn't so much into Hulk Hogan as I was when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. When I turned like 11, 12, I was like, ooh,
But I stopped being into Hulk Hogan so much whenever the whole thing after WrestleMania 3. Up to WrestleMania
yeah,
3, it was Hulk Hogan.
it was
You
pretty
know,
much after, it was pretty much after he lost the war. Yeah, I was because that again that's around the time I'm like okay I realized girls were actually girls. So
girls.
it was like I could go play with my Hulk Hogan action figure, or I can go outside and play with some girls. I'm go outside and play with some girls. Time to put Hulk down. So no, yeah, people. I think it's weird that people think once you a lot of people our age we were like Hulkamaniacs just like all the way through.
Mm.
For the most part, a lot of us stopped being like we were still fans, but we wasn't like every time Hulk Hogan was on TV we had to watch it. Type.
No, well, when Hulk Hogan became, I don't want to say he was irrelevant in WWF, but when he wasn't as important anymore, I
Yeah,
I didn't have any real longing to watch him. And when he went to WCW, I really didn't care.
I did. Yeah, I didn't really like. I watched it just to see what it was, and then I was like, okay, I see what it is now.
Now, the
Like
whole thing with the creation of the NWO, that kind of revitalized him a little bit for a little bit, for a little bit there.
it was entertaining
Yeah,
until it
until it
wasn't.
got not entertaining.
You're right. So, but some people just don't know when to stop. And WO was something that just didn't know. Which is, did you hear that story about supposedly I want to say around 2018, 2019 they were supposed to redo the NWO.
Hmm.
It was supposed to be Nakamura, Cesaro, um, two other people I can't remember, but
It was gonna be who now? Cesaro and who?
Cesaro, Nakamura. Let me see,
Nakamura?
it was weird, bro.
Why would you try to recreate the NWO without? I mean, I don't know. The whole point of NWO was like they were invading a new place, right? You couldn't have said those guys were invading a new place. They were already people that were there.
Dude, it was dude. I'm trying to find the. I thought for sure you would have seen that.
I don't remember it being talked about.
I know. I'm trying. I can't find it right now, but I know Cesaro was in it. It was Cesaro. I can't remember the other four, the other two people. But yeah, I'm like, it almost happened. They were saying it literally almost happened.
Good thing it didn't happen. It would have been probably it probably would have been stupid.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever see them. Like sometimes these pages will put up a question like, if you can bring one thing back, what would you bring back? Sometimes it's a faction, and they put in that. I would never bring the NWO back. When they remember NWO 2000 when Jeff Jarrett was in it,
Yeah,
that shit sucked.
yeah.
And as much of a
Well,
Scallo fan as I was, I hated watching all that like that.
when it got past 5 people, it started sucking anyway.
No, I see. I think they could have had 5 people if they didn't interchange the fact like if Big Show or Giant, he went in, went out, went in, went out. Macho Man went in, went out, went in, went out. If they hadn't did that and then had
When
like maybe like 7 or 8 people and they all were just the same 7 or 8 people and then nobody left and came back and switched them, that probably would have been okay. But
when they
once they got
had
past that, it would have.
when they had Nash and Hall and Hogan and what do they call him at the time? Six
Yeah,
was his X Pac, and then so him, and then throw in
I would have.
Conan.
I would have never had put the Giant in the NWO to begin with.
No,
I think.
but
I
you
think.
throw in Conan and make that the 5 people of the group, and they could have left it at that and had plenty of good
No,
storylines to run with
I think. I
instead of
think.
taking and making an entire roster takeover
I think. No,
and
I
even
think. I
splitting
think.
up to Wolfpack at
I
one
think
point.
you could have added Buff and Steiner to it, and I would have stopped after that. So all the people you just named, they added Buff because Buff was he was cool in the NWO. I ain't gonna lie. I had friends who was fans. It's because he was the shit he was doing, the dumbass posing, and like they were fans of that type of shit. Um,
But I don't know.
I think I would have stopped after that, and like I said, I would have never put Giant in the
I mean,
NWO.
7 or 8 people. It's not as much a faction at that point as it is. What do they call it? There's factions, and then there's something else. Like a group of some sort. It's like
It's more like the
look at AEW with Don Callis. He doesn't have a faction. He's got something
they call
else.
it they call it a family.
Well, they call it a family, but there's another term they were using the other day for this. They were talking about it on Busted Open. They were calling it something else other than a faction. They were calling it a different word.
I always heard like the Heenan family, the Jimmy Hart family, or the Hart Foundation family. Uh, they never said Bucci had a family, but he had a lot of tag teams. He had a lot of people. I remember
Yeah.
one. I remember one pay per view though, in 3 different matches. The manager walked back and came back the next match for a different person. Like that was because it was how many managers was it back then? It was Heenan.
Well, you
He had
like Heenan, Blassie, Fuji, Slick,
Slick,
Paul
Jimmy
Bear.
Hart, Jimmy
No,
Hart.
yeah, Paul Bear, Jimmy Hart.
But Paul Bear only
Um,
had one person though. He only had
huh?
Undertaker. He only had Undertaker.
He was a manager still though.
Yeah, I'm talking about like back before Paul Bear got there. I'm talking about those managers.
So before Paul Bear got there, you had Heenan, you had Blassie, you had Fuji, um,
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart. Do you count Miss Elizabeth, or do you want to call her a valet?
Not really, because like I said, all the other people we named had like 5 or 6 people. They
All
named.
right, so we'll say we had four for sure.
Right.
Slick, we didn't throw Slick in there.
And Slick had a few people.
Yeah, he had about 3 or 4, I think, didn't he?
Yeah. He had what Hakeem.
And the
He had
Boss Man.
Boss Man for a little bit. He had One Man Gang.
Yeah. Well, that was Akeem, just under a different thing. Did he have
No,
Bad News Brown?
nobody had Badness.
Nobody did. I couldn't remember for sure.
Yeah, nobody. Then you had the Heenan family. I mean, he had a who's who. Jimmy Hart, of course. So who's who had the demolition before? Remember they did that switch?
So
You know,
Fuji had Demolition.
no Fuji, no. Who had Powers of Pain? Fuji had Powers of Pain. No, Fuji had Demolition, and then they, he turned on Demolition and he had Powers of Pain. He left with
And then
Powers of Pain.
managed Powers of Pain. Yes, that's right. They didn't have a manager, I don't think, at the time.
Right. See, see,
Oh, are we going to count Lou Albano? Or is that before that? Too far before.
who did he have? He had
He had like the
hell,
Wild Samoans.
Albano didn't manage past like 84, 85, did he?
I don't know. Let's see. Um, how long did Captain Lou
I'm about to watch
manage?
Bobby Heenan. I don't know who this is he wrestling, but it's a Bobby Heenan wrestling match.
Manage. Um, Captain Lou Albano managed for 27 years. Um,
Really?
he retired in 1996. It says. Guided over 50 wrestlers, more than 2 dozen championships, managing 15 different tag teams. He
I
managed
don't.
at one point the Valiant Brothers, the Wild Samoans, the British Bulldogs, the Blackjacks, the U.S. Express, the
All this.
Moondogs, the Head Shrinkers, and Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito.
All that
His
was
singles
before
competition
1980.
people,
All that was before 1986, right? Had to be.
uh, well, before 1986, I would say, yeah. Singles competition, well, but it says here, I mean, he managed up until his retirement.
That was
No,
that
hold
really.
on. Captain Lou managed professional wrestling for 27 years, transitioning from the ring in 1969 to become a legendary manager until his retirement in 1996.
But that had to be mostly anything after 86 had to be like indie shows or one-time deals.
Now let's take a
Because I
closer
can't
look at him.
I can't remember him constantly on a Monday Night Raw or nothing like that.
We'll take a closer look at him. Hang on a sec. It's breaking down by years here. Career as a manager, 1970 to 1986. Let's see here. Let's get further down toward the closer to the 80s. They used to have the Grand Wizard there too as a manager. That was before the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think he managed past 84, 83. Because he managed Hogan, right? First time Hogan came up there.
In '83, Albano met pop singer Cyndi Lauper on a plane flight from Puerto Rico. They suggested doing a collaboration with him and girls just want to have fun, and he brought her over to Rock and Wrestling
That was
in
WrestleMania
like
1.
WrestleMania. In '84, she appeared on Piper's Pit, so Albano was in character with her. Um,
See, they count those as appearances, I'm assuming. Because he wasn't really managed. Again, I can't remember nobody he managed after 1986. Unless it was like a one-time deal or he was doing some indie stuff. But to 1996, I remember he I remember he was on Raw a couple times. He might have managed the head shrinkers on Raw when they first, like when they was doing it Raw in what's that building? Before they started going to a big arenas.
Madison Square Garden, you talking about?
No, no, it was another building where they
Not
first,
sure.
with that building they started the first building they started doing Raw in Manhattan Center. That's what it's called. I mean, he might have managed the head shrinkers on that. I'm thinking I remember that, but anything after that I can't. Like, other than that, I can't remember.
Well, it says here the last two. Well, yeah, the last two heel singles proteges he managed were Valentine and Ken Patera.
Ooh yeah, that was
Um, were paired with Jimmy Hart and Bobby Heenan respectively after Albano's face turn. So when he did a face turn, he lost those two guys. Valentine went to Jimmy Hart. Patera went to Bobby Heenan. Um, Gorilla Monsoon at that point continued to refer to Albano as the fountain of misinformation. Albano is now leading fan favorites such as the U.S. Express, George the Animal Steel. Um, British Bulldogs, Hulk Hogan, and Andre the Giant in the battle. That says,
He managed Hogan? What the hell was that?
and if he did, it would be briefly. The U.S. Express and British Bulldogs became the first tag teams to win WWF Tag Team Championships, with Albana was a face manager. He managed the U.S. Express at WrestleMania 1. He left WWF in late '86 with one final match on an episode of Wrestling Challenge, teaming with the British Bulldogs to defeat the Dream Team and Luscious Johnny Valiant.
And then he came back and did that stuff with the Wilson
Yeah.
Bros.
Yeah.
In 90, what, 93, 94?
So I would say, if anything, the U.S. Express and George Animal Steel, he managed them for sure. Occasionally, he come out with the British Bulldogs, and it says he come out with Hogan and Andre sometimes as well. But I don't think he officially managed Hogan and Andre. Regardless, I mean, even if we don't count him, you had the four or five other managers at the time. There was quite a few.
More of the stories, we need more managers.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Who is? If you look at your Mount Rushmore, I want to ask you this question because at Jimmy Hart's table, he had a picture that was the Mount Rushmore of managers. So if you took four managers for your Mount Rushmore, who would it be?
Definitely Heenan. Definitely Mr. Fuji. Definitely Paul Heyman. Heenan, Fuji, Heyman. And just because of longevity, I would have to give the fourth spot to Jimmy Hart. Heenan, Fuji, Heyman, Hart. Now, I don't normally do honorable mentions, but the only reason I'm giving this person the honorable mention is because of the role he played in a pivotal time with a pivotal faction, and that's J.J. Dillon. If he wasn't a part of the Horsemen, I wouldn't put him up there. But just because he played that role to the T with the Horsemen, he gets honorable mention. But my Mount Rushmore is Heenan, Heyman, Fuji, Jimmy Hart.
So out of curiosity, why Fuji?
Fuji,
Yeah.
the devious one. What?
So I mean,
That
it's a
was
name.
Fuji was the man. He had man. Come on, man. Master Fuji, man. If you're not looking, he throw that salt in your eye, man.
I
He
mean,
got involved. He got involved, and you never thought. And people used to sleep on Mr. Fuji. Fuji was a tough dude. He ain't want to fight, but he chop you in your throat real quick, like
do you know what Mr. Fuji was to me?
what?
The northern version of Tojo Yamamoto.
See,
He had Fuji in the
he
north and
can't
Tojo in the south.
get out of Memphis.
But anyway, on Jimmy Hart's picture that he had, he was sell that he would autograph and was selling. Um, the four people on Mount Rushmore was Jimmy Hart,
Mm-hmm,
Bobby Heenan,
mm-hmm,
Paul Heyman,
mm-hmm.
and Jim Cornette.
Mm. You know why I wouldn't say Jim Cornette? Because
Because he only managed the Midnight Express.
the unmanaged the Midnight Express, and the truth be told, he didn't really manage him that damn long.
Oh, he managed the Midnight Express for quite a while, and then it went to have
It,
actually he managed two teams, but the second team was half of the Midnight Express.
Express, and
But he managed Midnight Express clear from the early '80s across different territories. They
yeah,
went to
from
the
like
Von Erich territory. They went to the
from the
Bill
early
Watts
'80s.
territory.
The, with a Midnight Express even a thing in like '89, '90, barely.
Trying to
I mean,
remember. I think
I,
they were still in WCW at the time. I think
I mean, he came up and did what he did with WWE. I,
that was just
Listen,
some cheesy crap right there. That was that agreement they had with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, wasn't it?
yeah, I don't dislike Jim Cornette. I listen to his podcast too, and trust me, he does his fair share of complaining with you. I put him in your category. Jim Cornette is the type of person. If it ain't the wrestling he like, it ain't good.
I would
I
choose
just
Jim Cornette for the simple fact of what all he did for wrestling, other than just being a manager of the Midnight Express.
What were you talking about managers though? We wouldn't talk about.
From 1980 to 1990. The
I mean,
original from 80 to 83, that was Dennis Condrey, Randy Rose, and Norvell Austin. 83 to 90, you had a combination of Condrey and Eaton, and then Eaton and Lane.
it's still
So,
Midnight Express. I mean,
hey,
I don't dislike Midnight Express. I
and
mean,
then there was
no,
that.
no, I don't dislike Jim Cornette. I'm just saying that I picked
Do
those
you do
guys
you
because
remember
they
the
managed a lot of
blasphemous
people.
thing WWF did to try to make a Midnight Express?
Yeah,
That was blasphemous at the most. That was
so
terrible.
it's also Jim Cornette's idea. So
It was blasphemous of Cornette to even consider it. You would take Bob Holly and Bart Gunn and try to make them the Midnight Express.
as Jim Cornette says, anything if it's new or comes out of a box, it's over. So with that being said, I said 30 minutes, and we do 45. Called it.
As always.
Um, ha- as I look, everybody knows me. Have fun watching wrestling. If you don't like something, don't watch it. But please, let's not be such mental midgets as to go online and on podcasts and you know spend hours upon hours, days upon days, weeks upon weeks complaining about the same shit. It's a lot more to life than that.
Isn't that kind
So
of what we did today?
I didn't complain about wrestling. I complained about the people who complain about wrestling. There lies the difference. Opinions are opinions are one thing, but you can't turn an opinion into a fact. I am Mr. KS. That is not JD Chris, Front Row Wrestling Podcast. We out.